Variable. So a variable is a named storage location used to represent data that can be changed while the program is running. So we can store some value right now, later we can change it. That is what variable. So a data type determines the values that a variable can contain and the operation that can be performed on it. Now the data type which we have declared, that will determine what value will store, what kind of operations can occur. If I have int, okay, I can store only integer. If I have a float, I can store some fraction value, some decimal values we can store. So this data type has been categorized into two. That is a primitive type and second is the reference type. So look at here, what are the difference between these two and what are the type here we are having. So first we'll talk about the primitive data types. Now the primitive data types number is what? 8. See this. 8 primitive types are there like what? Boolean, char, byte, short, int, long, float and double. So all these types are having some range. What kind of value we can store in that? So Boolean we can store only false and true. By default Boolean is false. I mean if I'm taking Boolean B and then B having by default value what? False. If you're declaring in the class. If it is local variable, you have to initialize it. If you're just declaring variable in Java, it will give you compilation error if you have not initialized. Char from 0 to 2 to the power 16, it is taking Unicode characters, so it is acquiring 16 bits of memory for one variable. Byte 8 bits. The range is this 2 to the power 7 to 2 to the power 7 minus 1. So if I have a sort, this is the range. Int, this is the range. So this range will be a store value. How we can find this range? So there is one formula for this. What is the formula? Look at here. So we have a one formula like to the power n minus 1 to the power n minus 1 minus 1 here. This is in negative and this is a positive. So let us see what it's saying. Byte B. So in B, what I can store? If I write here B equal to 200, is it correct? Let us see the range here. So what we can do here, byte having how much? It is a 8 bits. Okay. It means to the power 8 minus 1 to the power 8 minus 1 minus 1, right? So we can say to the power 7 to the power 7 minus 1. It means minus 128 to 127, right? So if I store this b equal to 200 will give you compilation error because the range is this only. It is like one kind of container. I have a 2 liter of container. I can store maximum 2 liter in that. B cannot go beyond that, right? Similarly, this B can have maximum 127 and minimum value is minus 128. So if I write here B equal to 120, okay, this is fine. It will take. It will store the value. Okay. So at any time you can find the range by applying this formula for this data type. Okay. Now, so similarly you can find for all like long, int, short. So these are the primitive types which is inbuilt with Java. So this is a fundamental type for Java. Next is the reference type. Reference data type serves as a handle the object. Any other than this 8 data type, I mean primitive type, all are reference type. How we can create a reference type? There's a two way. One is the class and second is the interface, which help us to make own type, to make reference data type. Let us say you are doing here just writing class student open and close. Something is there. Okay. So you can easily do here student s. So student s is what? S is the reference type. Similarly, one reference type is there. Just consider I have a string s1. So s1 is what type? It is a string type, so it is a reference type. These all strings and all it is there inbuilt. If we are creating reference type, we have to use class or interface, and then we can work with that later. Next, variable declaration and initializations. How to declare a variable, how to initialize it. So here we are having say int age equal to 21. So here what we are doing, we are declaring as well as initializing also. In this case, date now equal to new date, string name JSON. So this is the data type and this is the variable name and this is a value. So look at here, this is the data type, variable name, and this is the value for this. Similarly here, data type, variable name and value. Now variable declaration rule. So it must follow the convention, naming convention of Java. Must we start with some characters. It should not start with numbers and it should not have a Java keywords, all these things. Next, primitive type declaration. If you are declaring variable in Java, so all the primitive types is getting allocated in the stack memory. So there are two different type of memories maintained, a stack and heap. So a stack int age, okay, it is saying age here. So first time age equal to 0 and then as I say age equal to 17. So age equal to 17 is getting allocated in my stack. Now if we talk about heap memory, so what will happen here? If I are allocating memory for reference type, it will always go for heap memory. So say car is my reference type and my car is the one object for car. So I say my car. So one reference is getting created here in my heap memory. Once we say my car equal to new car, okay, memory is getting acquired. So this is the way to get memory allocation in a stack and heap. Look at here. Let us say you are having class account. Now you are saying account obj1. So we are creating one object. Okay, one reference is getting created and then memory is allocated with whatever the here variables we are having with this means property of the class. So every property is having some values, right? In the case of another object, so it is again having some reference here. And so again, new memory is getting allocated having different values, right? So if we are having number of object, all object having the different set of properties, but all objects share the methods. And this will be happen in the heap memory. Scope of variable. Whenever you're writing something in the class, like here, it is written. This can be used in this method, like throughout the methods you can call. So it is a class scope. This is called class scope. Okay. Next, if you're declaring something in the like this, like this, this is a local to this method. You cannot access from other method or other block. So this is a local variable. In CTR, this is the use in this block only. You cannot use outside this block. So this is a local variable. But once you are declaring in the class, you can access in any other method or throughout the methods. Next is the operators.